Hey guys, what's up? I'm Timothy, the founder of brawlingfitness.com, and I'm here with my friend Sam to provide 2 good beginner workouts for those just starting out in grappling. We're starting off with band pull-aparts. These are very good for scapular mobility and strength in the rear delts and rhomboids. These are band dislocations. They are very good for scapular mobility. Rather than strengthening the scapula from one angle like band pull-aparts, it works in the full range of motion. I highly recommend using bands for this exercise. The back bridge. This is my favorite of the 3 warm-up exercises. It works very well in the glutes and spinal erectors, but I also feel it working my shoulder girdle and hamstrings a lot too. So we're starting off this workout with chin-ups. The chin-up primarily works the lats, but also works the biceps and the forearms. I'd highly recommend that if you can do a chin-up properly, then do it through the full range of motion. If you can't do a chin-up just yet, then I would recommend using bands to assist you. Or you can use partial ranges of motion and work on the top half or the bottom half of the movement, whichever is your weakest point. Moving on to the plank. The plank works the spinal erectors, the rectus abdominis, and the transverse abdominis. It's a very good exercise for those who are learning how to breathe in braids for heavy squats or deadlifts. As you can see, I was shifting my body throughout the plank. My cameraman Sam was actually giving me tips on how I can improve my plank form. I've still got a lot of things I have to improve on. I'm not perfect, and no one else is either. So remember, you always have something to improve on. Moving on to the dip. The dip is a very good exercise for those who are trying to train their triceps or their pecs. The dip also works the serratus anterior and the anterior deltoid, but not as much as a push-up, a handstand push-up, or an overhead press. If you do not have the mobility to do dips, then stick with push-ups. If you have the mobility but not the strength, then I would recommend using bands to help you. Moving on to the deadlift. Oh my, fuck my cameraman. Back to what I was saying. The deadlift works the spinal erectors, the glutes, the hamstrings, the upper back, the traps. It works most of your posterior chain, and it's an amazing exercise for grapplers. If I were to choose one exercise, it would probably be in the form of a deadlift. On to part 2 of this series. Just to let you guys know, the workouts that me and Sam are demonstrating differently are not meant to be on the same day. They're meant to be worked on different days of the week. So this is Sam, my ass of a cameraman. He will be starting us off with some deep prayer squats and some lateral lunges. If you lose your balance easily, then I would recommend putting your hands on the ground and letting it help you balance yourself. The prayer squat allows you to stretch out your inner thigh muscles and improve mobility in your ankle and groin area. On to the deep lateral lunge. The lateral lunge works both the inner and the outer thigh muscles. The inner and outer thigh muscles are what's going to keep you from falling over. The dumbbell high raise. It's a very good accessory movement for the anterior deltoid and the lateral deltoid, and if your range of motion is good enough, you can actually feel it in your traps. Okay, on to the crunch push-up. This is actually a pretty weird one because, well, I didn't even know it was a thing until Sam introduced it to me. But apparently you're supposed to crunch your abs while you do this kind of push-up, and it places more emphasis on your upper pecs, which is a good thing because people often use their upper pecs a lot more when it comes to striking and pushing and supporting themselves than their lower pecs. We're going to be starting off this main workout with renegade push-ups. Renegade push-ups work your pecs, your triceps, your thoracic anterior, your anterior deltoids, your lats, your rear delts, and your rhomboids. They work pretty much everything that you need to push yourself up the ground or pull someone off the ground. Are you guys interested in what he said? Well, too bad, because you guys aren't gonna know. The next exercise is the kettlebell overhead press. This exercise works your upper pecs, your triceps, anterior deltoids, and even works your spinal erectors, because you have to keep the weight up and you have to keep yourself stable. These are Superman holds, also known as the arch body hold. This exercise primarily works your spinal erectors and your glutes, but it also works your hamstrings and your rear delts to some extent. Just something to keep in mind, if you're a male and you're doing arch bodies, you might want to get a mat to support your groin area because whenever you're doing this exercise, you have to balance yourself near your pelvis, groin area, and it hurts a lot if you don't have the balance right. And unless you have balls of steel, I don't think you can get out of bed the next morning. The last exercise of this workout is the stiff leg deadlift. The stiff leg deadlift is just like a conventional deadlift, but it has more of an emphasis on the glutes and the hamstrings. When you're doing this lift, you don't have to touch the barbell onto the ground because you're trying to get more of an emphasis on the hamstrings. And even if you want to place the barbell onto the ground, you likely don't have the hamstring flexibility to do it with perfect form. For this lift, you want your butt to be as high as possible and your legs to be as close to straight as possible. Once you can feel a slight stretch in your hamstrings, that's when you can start your stiff leg deadlift. So this is the end of the video. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. We guys hope you learned a lot. And we hope that you guys will continue to support us in the future. More content will be released in the future, and better quality content at that. And hopefully one day my mic actually comes clear and doesn't fucking change its tone so many damn times during the day. See you guys. Have a nice day.